Okay. So what's going on, everybody? What's going on, fans? How's it going? I got a very special guest here. I'm glad she's worked with me. We did this the other day and it did not go so well. So I'm glad she's been very flexible with me and willing to work with me. But I got Dmitra Lucas in here. Uh, Also known as Miss Meech. She's the author of a book called "Listen to Me." It's a collection of poetry, and dude, is that prose? Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Prose. Okay, I was like, I don't want to say that the wrong way. So yeah, so how's it going?
It is going great. I do just want to correct you a little bit. It's Dmitra Dejanay.
Oh, Dijonay. Okay, my bad. I got you.
But yeah,
Okay, Dijonay.
it's going great. I'm feeling good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I'm good. Uh, Making it, maintaining. Uh, so before we even get going, because I don't know if people will click off, but I like to let my people plug themselves beforehand, so that at least the people who they can know where to find you at beforehand.
Okay, yeah. So, I can be found on Facebook as Dmitra Lucas, on Instagram at underscore I'm Meech. So underscore IMMEECH. Um, yeah.
All right. Okay. So some of these questions I've asked already. But I'll ask some of them again, and we'll kind of continue. So, uh, so where are you originally from?
Mhm. So I'm originally from Fairfield, California. It's the tip of the Bay Area. 707, 706 plus one. And
Okay.
now I currently live in Austin, Texas.
Okay. Uh, Definitely a different atmosphere, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah, it's different geographically, culturally. Um,
Gotcha. so, I guess one question I didn't get to ask is, what was your upbringing like? Because I mean, I've read some of your writings. I read on some. I read them all actually, but I couldn't help but kind of seeing the family in there and kind of bring you how you brought up the family. So, what was your upbringing like?
mhm. So I was raised in a single parent household. My mom raised me and my two younger sisters. Um, we also were, or she was supported by her mother, which is my grandmother. So at different periods of my life, we also lived with my grandparents. Um, and my dad was present in my life, but I lived with my mom.
Okay. So single parent household for the most part, but you have both parents in your life. That's good.
Yeah.
So, so do you and your dad have a really good relationship? Like I saw the poem, but do y'all have a pretty good relationship?
Mhm. We do. Our relationship has developed
That's
more
good.
so after I became an adult.
Okay.
When I was a child, I was very much intimidated by my dad. He was not a man of many words.
Mm,
So I did feel a little like disconnected or like I didn't understand him. Um, But as I came of age, he started talking to me more about his life and life in general. So now I feel like me and his relationship has blossomed and we have a good relationship and we're close and I feel more comfortable talking to him now than I did as like a child or a teenager.
okay. Cool. Is your dad is your dad black?
Yes, both my
So
parents are black.
okay.
My dad is, on my dad's side, we are American descendants of slavery with,
Mm,
with lineage also stemming from the Chickasaw tribe. which is Native American, American Indian, indigenous to the land. Then on my mother's side, we are of Cape Verdean descent. So my great grandmother was born and migrated from the Cape Verde Islands. That is just a mixture of African and Portuguese.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting, definitely. So, this is a kind of weird question. I mean, but I don't know. Do you speak Portuguese, or do you just speak just English for the most part?
So my family, they speak Crioulo,
Okay.
which is Portuguese with the African dialect.
Mhm.
Um, I took a Portuguese class, so I know a few words, but I
Gotcha.
speak English and Spanish.
Oh, okay. Cool. Gotcha. Okay. So, uh, yes. So I guess the last time we talked, I remember you told me that your poetry kind of came as a way of you kind of writing your thoughts out, and then you started to kind of realize what it was. So did a lot of those thoughts start when you were young, or did that come more so as you got older and kind of coming of age and, you know, finding yourself, so to speak?
Mhm. So I started journaling in eighth grade.
Mhm.
So I would say they kind of came out at a younger age, up until now because I still journal. Um, but I kind of realized it maybe in like high school, the end of high school, beginning of college. The way I wrote or expressed myself in my journal wasn't always like prose or full sentences. It was more of like a poetic flow.
No, gotcha. Okay, so sorry. Uh, so we'll change gears for a second. So, um, uh, so your occupation. You care to kind of explain or elaborate on what you do, even though you already have, but to kind of elaborate on what you do for your occupation?
Yeah, so currently, I help families and individuals become their own bank. I am licensed agent in the financial services industry. I help families protect their life, their income, and their estate through insurance products.
Mm,
I'm also pursuing a master's in education, so I'm an educator, um, and I um, envision and have the long term goal of opening up my own schools.
okay. And so, for the kinds of schools that you would be opening up, I guess, what kind of, I guess, students, or would it just be just a regular kind of public school in general, or would it be like a more specialized school, for like maybe kids with autism, or engineering, or or like a science kind of academy, or is it just a school?
So definitely open to all children, all families with children aged 2 to 12th grade in high school, but focusing on developing social and emotional skills, real world skills, um, financial literacy, um,
Ooh,
as
thank
well
you.
as as well as just like cultivating the child, honing in on their interests and their strengths and abilities to help them become whatever they want to be. Not just pushing the narrative of going to a 4-year institution or going right into work, but they want to open up a business, showing them the steps to doing that. If they want to be an actor or a singer, just giving them those resources and those action steps to take to pursue that path and pursue their passion.
Gosh, I respect that. I do. Yeah, I really respect that, because something that I've kind of noticed, and I guess I'm a little bit different from the people I went to school with. And I'm trying to navigate that. I have a YouTube channel and stuff like that, and I'm trying to grow it and podcasting and stuff. But it's funny because I grew up during a time where it was just kind of like go to work. Or I'm not gonna say during the time because it's not like I'm really that old, but um, I grew up in a city, like a little bitty town, where it was kind of like go to school, graduate, go to college, get you a job, and then just get out there. And it's like that's cool. I want to do that, but there's other things that other people want to do, and I just always, I always just find that kind of disheartening that like it seems like once kids start experiencing like school and all that kind of stuff, it seems like that's where their kind of dreams and inhibitions and stuff like that, they're what they want kind of tend to go away. So like I commend you for that. That's big because a lot of kids seem to just be like, I don't want to go to school because I don't want to go out and become an employee. And it's like, well, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually reminds me of a line in one of my poems that is in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, I also feel like society and school, the traditional uh, route of schooling, very much like puts children in a box to conform with either going to college or going right into work.
Yeah. So with that being said, this is a thing I kind of have even though I'm a college student and I'm going to college I'm going to college to try to become a doctor. Um,
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's kicking my butt. um, uh, I've always kind of had this kind of love hate relationship with college because I feel like it sets people up for failure if you're not uh what's what I'm thinking of intentional, if you're not like pointed in what you're trying to get, because you go in and you take all these loans out and it's like before I can even get out here and start making money, I'm already behind. And so you know kind of my thing, like, so I guess my question is kind of like what's your take on that, when it comes to kind of the whole traditional route.
Hmm. I I feel like college and universities, they are an institutionalized system um,
Facts.
that has been changed over time to continue to benefit the elite and the upper class, the affluent. Um, Although I do believe that for students who either, were raised in a single parent household or their family, makes way below the financial like income limit for them to be able to receive financial aid. I think those students do have an opportunity to go to college and be fully funded with grants. Um, Me, for example, I was very blessed and, in a way, privileged to be raised in a single parent household because my mom didn't make a lot of money. Um, Majority of my years in college were paid by grants.
Yeah.
I didn't have to take out a loan at all. I wanted to be able to have extra funds while I was studying abroad, but I didn't need to take out that loan.
No, gotcha.
And so, like my last couple years of undergrad, I did have to pay for classes out of pocket, um, being that I was over the credit limit. But then that just also is tied back into if students don't have like a direct path or know exactly what they want to be. They're kind of just taking classes to get a feel for college, to learn about their interests, learn about themselves, um, without guidance, because they are on that time limit. Like once they surpass a certain amount of years or a certain amount of semesters or credits, they don't get financial aid anymore.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. I'm a firm believer, and some people are like, "You're stupid," but I've always said I believe that students should wait until they're about 22 before they go to college, so they can actually get a feel for the world and not go and just waste a bunch of money. Now, obviously, you have some people that they know at like 12, they're like, I want to be an actor, so I'm going to go to acting school. That's why, like, in my third grade yearbook, my mom showed it to me recently. I forgot I wrote that. It said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I put a movie star, and I was like, "Hopefully it'll work out. We'll see what happens." But um, yeah, you have some people who just know from day one, like, this is what I want to do. But I feel like there's more students than none. More than often, there's more students who don't know what they want. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd also like to kind of combat what you said there, though, about like starting at 22, because for me, I started college at the age of 18 and I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I feel like I found out what I wanted to do by taking classes and by being in college and being in that atmosphere.
Fair enough.
So it
Respect that.
can
Yeah,
go
I get
either
it.
way.
Yeah, it's a give and take. I get it. So, um, I guess being like trying like going into, because you're kind of in the financial industry right now. You're trying to go into teaching, or that's what you're working on. I don't know if I guess from both sides, what's something that I guess you've learned, or that you didn't, that kind of, yeah, I guess like a misconception that you had, and then you learned it and you were like, wow, I didn't know that, or I didn't think that, or, I guess, yeah, something that maybe if it was even a mistake, something that you learned from, I guess.
Well, something that I learned um, while pursuing, um, a degree in child and adolescent development, and then now a master's in education, um, is just about how like the dropout rates and the education gap contributes to the wage gap. Um, it's just something that I didn't think about while in high school or even as a young adult.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how like those students who are pushed out of schools, or you know yeah, those students who are pushed out of schools and that fall in between the gaps, their their future income is limited, being that they may not have a high school diploma, um, or may not seek higher education. Um, Back in 2014, 2015,
Mm-hmm.
we were reading an article that was stating that by 2025, which is 3 years from now, a high school or a bachelor's degree would be equivalent to a high school diploma.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah, I've also heard, and this is actually scary. They believe by, I want to say it's 2030. It's within the next 10 years. They believe that the median income for most black and brown people will be like way below the poverty line. They believe that some people, that their median income will be like $0, because a lot of jobs are like phasing out. That recently happened to me at where I was working at. They like they're like moving my job to like a third party team, and I was like, okay. And so they were just kind of like, yeah, so and I was just kind of like, okay, well, I was like, I was like, good thing I'm in college, so I don't have to deal with this for the rest of my life. But yeah, there's people who work with me who are like, 50, 60 years old, and they're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm taking these classes so I can try to get somewhere. So I definitely understand that. I I'd heard that, but I guess I never thought about that. Like, yeah, that your education and your income are starting to become kind of linear in many situations in today's world.
Mhm. But I do believe that that is for like quote unquote traditional jobs where you're an employee.
Yeah,
Um, because if be your own boss and you start a business, then it's not so much tied to your education.
yeah,
And even the work I do in the financial services industry, it just requires a state license. It doesn't require a bachelor's or master's.
yeah. That's yeah. Yeah. I'm start like I think that's the one. I think that's the one good thing about like millennials and like Gen Z is we're like in an age where like entrepreneurial like ship and entrepreneurialism is just blew up. So everybody's like, I'm not gonna do like this, you know, um, this traditional, 9 to 5 every day kind of monotonous, and it like, um, I would like I was I'm blessed because I have some backup stuff going on, investments and stuff that kind of held me over and kind of helped me get to a different situation. But there's some people that I see and I'm just like, wow, that sucks. So yeah, that's the I think that's the one thing I love about our generations is we're starting to get more from a you know that great resignation thing is starting to be a big thing. People are stepping away from the kind of monotonous everyday type job and they're like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. Like this is
Right. When it's
yeah,
not even for livable wages.
yeah. And and at the drop of a hat, the company would be like, yeah, we don't need you anymore. So yeah, I don't shame anybody who doesn't want to. I don't shame anybody who doesn't want to work a regular job. I just it's just the people who don't want to work. I'm like, okay, look, you need some money to make some money, so you have to do something for a little bit. But yeah, so there's some people who are like, I'm not working at all, and it's like, okay, like, come on, bro, relax. But yeah, I definitely get people who are taking that money and resigning and moving on to other things because that's definitely what I'm doing. Yeah. So um, I guess one question that I wanted to ask last time I didn't ask is aside from like, or we don't even say aside from it, who are some of the most influential people in your life and why? Whether they're people that you know you see on TV or people that you meet, that you kind of deal with in like a more regular kind of personal basis.
Mhm. Well, I would definitely say the people that I'm able to touch and talk to.
Yeah.
Um, One of my mentors, who's actually in my acknowledgement section in the book, the entrepreneur Che, he provided me with a lot of knowledge that schools didn't give me in regards to financial literacy, passive income, um, developing multiple streams of income, and as well as giving me like action steps and a path and direction to becoming a self-published author, and also
Mhm.
marketing my book on my own, promoting myself, developing my craft. So he's been very influential in my life, as well as my family's life.
Gotcha. So uh mm, what is probably one of the biggest things that you would say people misunderstand about you or get wrong about you at first glance? Because I definitely know mine. Everybody says that I look stuck up and that I look intimidating. And then like it's like if you go talk to him, he's actually cool. It's like, yeah, he looks like a Jamaican drug lord, but it's like, relax, like go talk to him. He's actually cool. People will talk to me and then it'll go away. But that's probably the one I always get, that I look kind of mean.
I couldn't really say about what like others think about me or misconstrue about me, like others that I don't really know. I can say that something my younger sisters get wrong is that they would oftentimes call me a stick in the mud.
Mm.
And I feel like that came from like our age difference. I'm 8 and 10 years older than my younger sisters. So they're not babies anymore. But when we were growing up in the household, like I was a teenager and they were in preschool. So we didn't have much to connect on, or I felt like, um, a second or third parent, trying to shield them from things that was above their head, above um, their understanding. So
Yeah, that's cool. Uh, yeah, it's funny. Like it's funny for people to see. Like that's actually pretty awesome, because me and my brother didn't get along for a long time because there's a 6.5 year difference between us. Like now, when people see us, they're like, "Are y'all really related?" And it's like, yeah. And they're like, "Y'all don't look alike." And I'm like, "Well, we have different dads." And they're like, "Y'all don't really act alike." And it's like, he's my brother. Relax. And so, yeah. But I definitely get that, because for a long time, we didn't have a lot in common. He. I ain't gonna say nothing because I don't want to get him in trouble. But yeah, he does some things that I was not into, and I was just kind of like, yeah, let me relax. But yeah, we're like, that's cool. So basically, I think you're kind of just boring, and you're not.
yeah.
No, gotcha. So, what would you say? Or before I going off of that, would you say that you're an introvert or an extrovert, or would you say you're kind of in between both?
I would say I'm both. That
They call it what is it, an ambivert or omnivert or something like that? I think that's what it's called.
there's a few other
Yeah.
categories and labels that I've heard, but I feel like I am the social butterfly, but I am also very observant and
Okay.
aware of my surroundings and the energy in the room. So I'm not going to just exert myself or be social in a space where I don't feel safe or where I feel like um,
Unwanted.
unwanted, or um, in a space that is not going to understand or receive where I'm coming from.
No, fair enough. I get that. I get that. So, yeah. Here's the one question I wanted to ask, that I did ask before. What would you tell your younger self? I used some time to figure that one out. Uh, um, how can I put this? So you had a pretty strong family. It seems like, but well, you're very family. I mean, even though your mom and dad weren't together, it seems like you had a good family. What would you say is probably one of your favorite childhood memories that you can think of?
One of my favorite childhood memories is making mint chocolate chip milkshakes with my mom. She had these, like, they were black mugs, but they were like octagon shaped.
Mm-hmm.
And they just really stuck out to me. And I just always remember us drinking milkshakes out of them, which like prompted me to buy a set of black octagon shaped mugs.
Hey, follows you. So you said you're drinking mint?
Yes, mint chocolate chip
Hell.
was the go-to when I was a child.
Nah, that's cool. Nah, like I said, I don't. I just say that because I don't. There's not a lot of mint things I like, so it's always like, nah. Well, I'm just giving you a hard time.
Not even gum.
No, yeah, no. I say like go like if it's gonna make my breath smell good, yeah. But just to be like I remember everybody was like my mom used to love thin mint cookies, and I was like, those cookies are so nasty, and she was like, "Boy, you crazy."
They're the best. In
And I
my
was like,
opinion, they're the best Girl Scout cookies that there are.
I give you that one. I say those and shortbreads are the best. So I can't argue because them other ones, I'm like, who makes these cookies? These cookies are horrible. They're bad ideas. Can't stand these cookies.
I like the thin mints and then the purple box. Um, they are
The one with like
have
the little
coconut.
coconut.
Yeah, coconut flakes and
Yeah,
drizzled chocolate.
yeah. I've tried those. I'm not huge on like actual coconut. Like I like coconut flavor, but I don't actually like the actual coconut. So that was why I didn't really like those cookies. But those ones are okay too. I get it. I get it. Um, yeah, and the cookies. So speaking on family, like I said, I read it the last time, and I couldn't help you saying that that your brother was incarcerated, and do you care to you know share on that situation or you know?
Yeah, so my brother is a another black man that got caught up in the system and unfortunately um, has been incarcerated without without a trial.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So, so not to interrupt you, how long has he been locked up? I only asked that to ask another question, which I'll
mhm.
leave to in a minute.
Yeah, March of last year.
So he's been waiting. So he's been waiting on a trial for a year.
Yeah,
It's sad. Yeah. One thing about me is I am huge on black people staying out of prison. Like we can go into that more later, on personal stuff. But yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's straight to the point. It's just another system that is doing exactly what it was designed to do.
yeah. Modern day slavery. Modern day slavery. Um, uh, how can I put this? So I guess how it's kind of a two-part question. So what is kind of a normal day for you, or how I guess how does your morning routine? What would it be like?
So my morning routine, I get up, wash my face, brush my teeth, do some stretching and yoga. Um, Sometimes I'll read, or other days I'll write for a little bit, and then jumping into work or my daily tasks. But I try to always start my morning out with some stretching and yoga and tea.
Right. Side note, because I always wanted this. I did like a Pilates class one time, but I mean, it was just, to me, it just felt like aerobics because, like I said, I box and do martial arts, so I was just like, it just feels like workouts for before I get ready for a fight. Um, does yoga really help?
It does. It helps me with my not only my physical body but like my mental. I could be, for example, this morning, I was a little frustrated, um, and I did some yoga, and it calmed me down, and I was able to like settle into my body and get rid of those not so positive thoughts.
So, and this might be a dumb question. Are yoga and meditation are two different things, right? Or do they kind of go together?
So I have been told that they go together, and that yoga is a form of meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not too versed in um, like I'm not too versed in it, and like the root or where those teachings directly come from. But I have heard that yoga is a form of meditation.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Okay. Yeah, I always wondered that. Everybody's always be like yoga, yoga, and I'd be like, it just looks like stretches to me, but I never understood what it was. So I saw, but yeah, because I was wondering, like, does that really work?
Yeah, no, it definitely works with like getting um, your thoughts and your mindset kind of like under control. It
Mm-hmm.
helps with toning the body. Um, it helps with strengthening the body.
Okay. Cool. Might have to look into that.
Yeah, there's also like different levels of yoga.
So
So maybe you just need to up it a notch, so it's more than just feels more than just stretching to you.
yeah, gotcha. I just might have to. I might have to. I might pick that. I might pick that up once I move. So we'll see what happens. um. So mm, yes, I'll do that. I'll do that one at the end. Um. I'm gonna put this. I kind of just went blank too. um. When it comes to kind of your poetry and you're on, I guess when you're on stage or you're performing, is there is there ever is there anything that like, I guess this is kind of it's kind of the same question as before, but I guess I'm trying to, is there is there anything that you constantly kind of hear about yourself, maybe like, oh man, like she, I guess what I'm trying to say is what would people say about you when it comes to your poetry?
Mhm. I've heard that it's a very like intellectual type of poems, and that they can tell that I'm college educated because of the vocabulary I may use in a poem. I've been told that my poems paint a picture, and
Mm,
that people can like either vividly see what I'm talking about or imagine what I'm talking about.
that's good. That's good. So And I'm sure that's what you're going for, right? Whenever you're writing.
Yeah, painting a picture. And it is kind of, I am also going for like a more critical poem.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to think about what I'm saying.
Okay.
Whether they think about it because they know what I'm talking about and they're connecting the two, or think about it because they don't know what I may mean by this line. So it prompts them to think and either reflect or look it up.
Okay. Gotcha. So, uh, speaking on your poem, like, do you have a favorite one? That's in the book, or is like your favorite one you haven't really, it's kind of like, yeah, y'all gotta. I ain't dropped that one yet. I ain't dropped them bars yet.
Hmm. I actually do. So I'll let you know my favorite one in the book thus far is Still Ascending. But then I
Okay.
do have
Yeah.
a favorite one that I just recently wrote. Um, and I have not really put that out yet. I've performed it once just to kind of get the feel of the delivery and like my where I'm gonna pause or fluctuate my voice. Um, but that one is titled S Cubed, and I wrote it specifically for Trap Arts, the Freak Show Summer Tour. And so they were sending out a call for poets in different cities, in different states. And I auditioned. The theme was to write an erotic poem. And that was a challenge for me because that was the first erotic poem that I ever wrote.
Okay.
But I love it. And I also,
Of
intertwined
course.
some deep thinking and some complex ideas that someone would have to think about or reread it to get where I'm coming from. It's not just an erotic poem.
Yeah. Gotcha. Um, that's because that's crazy because that was actually going to lead me into my next question, which is just random. So, are you single, taken, married, engaged? Or
Um, well, I'm single. Yeah, not engaged, not married, not in between relationships. I am single.
cool. I couldn't help but read, like, the still ascending, and I was like, I'm gonna ask her, is that just a person that she just kind of just wrote about, or is she taken, or what? So yeah. Um, so uh, so you spoke on the trap arts. So I guess, when will you know if you're, okay, let me explain it, because like, so me and you had to talk about this. Do you care to explain what trap arts is? Because some people might be like, what is that? That sounds like some dope boy music or something.
So, trap art, um, the best I can explain it, just from my own experience, not from really looking at their mission statement or vision or website. Trap Art is a group that hosts different artistic events in different venues. Um, I've personally went to some of their events in Oakland and San Francisco. Um, and it's a combination of having artists and vendors there selling, promoting their art, whether that's painting, uh, jewelry making, fashion design, you name it. It's really just uplifting artists, giving them a space to get their name out, sell their merchandise, as well as for people to come and have fun, enjoy like the venue. It's normally 21 and up, so it's like a bar, dance floor, good vibes.
Gotcha. So, bring the whole thing out. So, uh, So I guess when will you know if you like I guess made the cut, so to speak?
Well, so the show in Houston is this upcoming Thursday, July 28th, and then
Hmm.
the show in Dallas is September 8th.
Okay.
I'm unsure of when the lineup will be released of poets who are performing, but I have been selected for both dates to be a vendor.
I,
So
well,
I'll
to be a
be there.
vendor.
Yeah, I'll be vending, selling my book, as well as stickers that my paintings that I've made into stickers. Um, yeah, so I'll be at both events whether I'm a performer or not.
Okay. So is there something that people can do to get you on a performing list, or is it kind of just like if they choose you?
Mhm. So I did have to send an audition tape. I believe it's just the founders and creators of trap art selecting the artist. That's what I think. That's my assumption. Um, but yeah, if anyone is interested in coming to either the Dallas event, which is going to be at the Nines, and then the Houston event, which is going to be at the Numbers nightclub, um, they can use my promo code to get a discounted ticket. My promo code is Miss Meech, all uppercase, one word.
Okay. Gotcha. That's funny. Yesterday I one called the nines and the numbers. They picked that perfectly. So I guess yeah, before we kind of wrap it up or whatnot, um, I just kind of asked you some random, just quick questions. If you could live anywhere in the world, uh, besides Austin or Cali, where would it be?
Um, I would want to live on one of the islands in the Cape Verde Islands.
Mhm.
There's 10 different islands. Um, so I'd like to reside on one of them, be closer to my maternal side and their roots. I also wouldn't mind living in Spain again. I lived out there for 6 months during a study abroad program, and the southern region, Andalusia, was very
Mhm.
beautiful, and um, it also had architecture and still has cultural influences that goes back to times of the Moors.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've like Spain is actually one of the places that I want to visit. So, like, uh, yeah, like one of my friends actually lives in it's in Rota.
Okay,
I think I think that's in Spain.
I'm not too familiar,
Okay,
but
so how is the culture there? Is it like is it very welcoming and easygoing, or are they kind of like, oh, we got an American here?
I would say that you will be able to be pointed out as an American,
Hmm.
whether you are of any racial identity. Um,
Hmm.
One thing that I found interesting and slightly funny was that me and a person from my cohort, we had went out to a bar one night, and um, they speak Spanish. Their familial roots of are Chicano and Mexican American, and so they spoke Spanish. And so when they were talking to other women in the bar, they had asked if the women could tell that we weren't from there. And they said yes. And then they asked the women why or how they could tell. And the women responded with that they could tell that we weren't from there because we were looking at people in their eyes
Oh,
and like making eye contact and then smiling at random people.
oh. So is that something that's frowned upon there, or is it just weird to them, or what?
I think I've just heard that some people could be a little just more to themselves, maybe a little timid, but it's more of like just head to the ground or tunnel vision and they're on their way.
Oh,
But
gotcha.
that is a little bit of a contrast because in Spain and you know when you go to greet someone, you're giving them the two kisses on the cheek.
Yeah,
It's not just a hug or a hi or a handshake. It's two kisses.
yeah, yeah. I used to date a chick from Costa Rica, and she did that the first time I met her, and I was like, that was weird. But she was like, then she's like, oh, I'm from Costa Rica. That's why I'm sorry. I was like, oh, okay. So it took me a second to get it. I was like, okay, fine,
Mhm.
I got you. So, um, what would you say is probably your, I guess, your best compliment or your most flattering compliment that you ever gotten, whether it's on stage or just in general?
That I have a great vibe. Um,
That's great.
that I'm very caring. Um, and um, yeah, I would say like my vibe and kind of my welcoming personality.
Okay. Gosh. Um, and then I guess the other side of that, have you ever received an insult that you're kind of proud of, or some, or maybe something somebody told you and you're like, I'm actually kind of proud of that. Like,
Um, hmm.
like for example, like I used to be real timid, like really, I was just kind of like I would never talk to anybody, I would never look at anybody, and then over time, once I got to hang, like once I left where I was from and I got around my friends, I have a lot of friends from like New York, Chicago, Philly, and those kinds of guys. They're very like forward when they talk.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, cool, And so it's funny because I've had women tell me like you're arrogant. I'm like kind of like that. I'm not so timid anymore. So, which I don't think I'm arrogant, but so I guess I rub people the wrong way sometimes. So yeah.
Hmm. Um, so a something that someone has said about me that I feel proud of that may not have been a positive compliment.
Hmm.
Um, hmm.
If you have one.
I can't say that I do, but I do appreciate when people point out like my flaws or a trait or something that I've done that that has rubbed them the wrong way because then that allows me to grow from that. It allows me to recognize it and reflect on it to even think about if I need to grow from it. Um, but if they don't point that out, then it's like I could just be moving and not be aware of it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Respect that. So, uh, the last question I asked you earlier, what was your favorite memory of with your family? Is there ever a story, like a funny story, that they always tell about you, like Aaron, like, and that they tell it every time that maybe that you might even care to share?
Hmm. I think just something that kind of is on the top of my head. Um, One of my close friends and my mom had flew out to see me for my birthday this year,
Hmm.
and my mom had told her and my roommate that my family used to call me the cookie girl, and it's because I used to bake chocolate chip cookies all the time for everyone. And so they would just like my mom or my grandma could call me from the living room and I'd be in my room and they'd just be like, cookie girl. And then from there I would just know that they wanted me to make cookies. So I go and I started making cookies.
That's good. Hey, hey, that'll work. So, are your cookies good at least?
They are.
That's all that
They
matters.
are. Hmm.
Okay, and so I'm a very this is probably my last question before we get out. Um, we were just talking about the world earlier, and uh, how it's changing and all that. Where do you see the world? I guess in the next 5 years, because if you get on like all this TikTok stuff and everybody's talking about the world's ending and it's coming, I'm just kind of like if it's gonna end, ain't nothing I can do about it. So I'm just kind of moving through life, just trying to stay on my grind and stay focused. But where do you kind of see it going in like within the next 5 to 10 years?
Um, Within the next 5 to 10 years, I I think there's going to be a large wealth transfer. There's going to be a large shift in from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0. The way that people um, engage is going to be different. I feel like we may have even seen those differences start to develop with having to be quarantined in March of 2020 to slowly getting back out to engaging and interacting in the real world.
Fair enough. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, yeah. The wealth transfer, and I believe, I definitely believe there's a huge wealth transfer, and I'm like I said, even with like them like investment and stuff, like I'm starting to see like a lot of things change from kind of the normal like put your money here and just wait. Like people are like not doing that anymore. So yeah, I believe that. Well, that's it. Um, so you told the people where they can find you. Aside from aside from like the whole trap arts, do you have anything else coming up anytime soon, or is it kind of just you know you just kind of go with the flow, kind of as it goes?
Mhm. So I will be, popping up at different open mic events, whether that's in Austin, Dallas, maybe even Houston.
Hmm.
I will be performing on August 5th um, at a show hosted by Convergent Arts, and that is a collective in Austin, bringing together all types of artists and art form. Um, yeah, I'll be back in the Bay Area for a week in September, so I may even hit up some venues out there. But yeah, stay tuned because you may never know where I'm at next.
I respect it. Like I said, I'm probably moving. I'm of course I'll probably be living in the area around, or I'll be around in your area around probably January. So I'll be able to come finally see a live show.
Nice. Well,
Yeah,
I can't wait.
yeah. So you know what it is. So is there anything else that you want anybody to know, or?
Um, yeah, so I just wanted to flash my little baby here. My book, Listen to Me, a collection of poetry and prose. It is available on Amazon. I also shipped personally signed and packaged with love books to those who purchase through my PayPal link. I also have a electronic book of this. So if you don't like physical copies, you can get an ebook. I am going to be coming out with a relaunch of this book, as well as more book of poems, screenplay, fictional novels based off real events. I also have a writers community, developing, teaching people, sharing tips and tricks with those who want to retain ownership of their work, whether that is text, books, music, photos, sheet music. Um, they just want to learn how to become self published. They just want to hear of my story or have a safe space of where they can develop their craft.
Okay. So, helping everybody out. I like it. I like it. Well, I want to thank you for coming in today, or today. I almost said today. And again, for real, thank you for working with me. I know that last one was kind of very unprofessional and very kind of just weird how we had that whole thing set up. So, thank you for being understanding and being flexible with me.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for allowing me to showcase my art on your platform.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, I hope to get you out again. Maybe next time we can do this in person. But yeah, with that being said, yeah, definitely. Thank you. Good luck. I hope to see you on the trap arts, both of them, performing, not just vending. And yeah, y'all go check her out. Y'all keep supporting. Like I said, she's talented, so she got skill. So, but yeah, I want to say thank you again, Dmitra.
Thank you.
All right.
I would tell my younger self to not get caught up in not get caught up in the
rat race.
Let me think. I would remind yourself not to get so caught up in
trying to fit in, trying to.
Hold on. You're gonna get it correct.
It's fine. We can come back to it, or I'll cut it.
Okay.
It's fine. We'll come back to that one.